All right, so we're back, and our last circuit to show is going to be an overhead crunch circuit with a Superman. So again, a crunch circuit, you'll see it's a lot different than your typical crunches that you probably are familiar with. So crunch circuit is going to involve 3 different movement patterns in there, and I will show you it from back here because I think it gives the best angle. When you're seated in this position, or seated laying down, I'll show you real quick. Laying down, you'll be here, and then you can have your knees a little bit bent like that, okay? And just keep it comfortable, you'll be okay. So with this pattern, you're going to keep the ball over your head. So the ball's going to be back over your head. There's 3 movements we do. We go in diagonal patterns, and then we go in a straight pattern. So the diagonal pattern will be hold that ball about 1 inch off the floor, keeping it right over your head, and then you're going to move your one shoulder toward your opposite hip, and then to the middle, and then opposite shoulder to the opposite hip. So it's 3 ways: over, back to the middle, and then back over. And again, I'm not coming up real high off the floor. It's just enough to initiate the contraction that we're looking for in the movement pattern, okay? So things to be mindful for when you come up in that crunch pattern. Make sure that the ball stays over your head when you're crunching. Don't come up and then bring it forward, okay? You don't want to have that ball, like, if you could see it over your eyes, then it's not far enough behind you, okay? So again, that's cheating, right? So keep it back over your head, and it'll force the abdominals to have to do the work rather than just swinging the arms in the ball, okay? So that's our overhead. And now we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is Supermans. So Supermans are a pretty interesting pattern, very challenging. What you're going to do is you're going to be laying on your stomach, arms out in front of you, and I'll try as best I can to get my whole body in the picture here. Basically, you're going to lift both arms and both legs off the floor at the same time. You want to keep your arms and your legs as straight as you can as you do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your knees straight, make sure that they're off the floor and arms straight, and then you're just going to lift both at the same time. You don't have to go real high, 3 inches, maybe 4 inches off the floor, right? Just drive it up, right, and back down. Drive it up and back down. Just hold it for like 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, and down. So the goal of this exercise, again, it's to really focus on hip extensors. You want to really get those glutes and hamstrings activated the whole way through, and also keeping the abdominals initiated. Because if you don't, if you just let your tummy relax, or you're not focused on what muscles you're using, then all you're going to do is be feeling this in the lower back. And as you know by now, that's a big no-no for everything that we do. Right? So we don't want to be feeling a whole lot in that lower back. Really want to feel the glutes and really feel the stomach working. So it's a very interesting movement pattern because you wouldn't think of this as a way to use the stomach muscles and train your abdominals. But you know, what you'll find is that when you work on the glutes and you train your glutes like that, as long as you're really consciously focused, then the abdominals will kick in. So it's a very interesting way to train all of these muscles, all right? So again, 10 repetitions and on everything, and on that crunch circuit, you're doing 10 repetitions each movement, all right? So if you think about it, on that crunch, that overhead crunch circuit, it's like 30 total reps in the set. Again, do 3 rounds of it, and that is your final C3 circuit.